Welcome to Malpractice Podcast.
So, are you ready to get started?
I'm very ready. Hi.
Ready, Freddy.
My name is Sydney,
My name is Jess,
and this is Malpractice Podcast.
and we live here in the pod.
And we live here in our closets.
Yeah, I wish I had the minimalist lifestyle that I could live in a closet. But I have way too much shit.
Same. When you see those people who live in those tiny homes.
Michelle wants to live in tiny home.
Incorrect. Michelle has 37,000 sweaters. She cannot live in a tiny home. That's just facts.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do that. Why would I do that?
Why would you...
What is that? What's that for?
Why would you choose that life? If you had to live in a tiny home, I think I could make it work if I needed to, but I wouldn't choose it.
I wouldn't make it work. I would actively work against it.
It's just a lot, you know?
No, it's so much.
It's
actually not enough.
It's not nearly enough. I have tried on a consistent basis to like Marie Kondo parts of my life. Do you see how many shirts are behind me?
No, yeah.
I know hoarder.
Yeah.
Not a scary hoarder. My house is very clean, but I do hoard certain things.
Clothes.
Clothing specifically, I cannot get rid of clothes. It's a problem. I have like a shirt that I ripped a hole in the armpit. I'll never wear it again, but I keep thinking like, I could take that to a tailor.
But you're not going to.
I'm not going to. Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Oh, you are the master of getting rid of something.
I will get rid of something, and then I will buy something else.
You'll throw something out for no smooth reason. Jess is like, I hate this now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. I literally just did that. I just did it.
It's our 1 year anniversary of podcasting.
Smooth transition.
I just thought about it and I was like, we haven't said it at all. It's important.
It's been a year.
It's been a whole year.
That's crazy.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sticking with us.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, you're welcome.
You live here. You can't go anywhere.
I live here. It's been cool. It's been fun.
I agree.
It's been like a wild ride.
It has been a wild ride. You know, it's been really fun. We've met some really cool guests.
Super cool.
I feel like I've learned so much about weird topics.
So much. Yes.
And I find myself often trying to integrate that information into conversations without being the douchebag that's like, you should listen to my podcast episode about this.
I literally say, like, you should listen to the podcast.
I do too. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to like market this to you. However, we do have a very fascinating episode.
This reminds me of the time. Yeah. No, same.
You want to learn about things? We've got things.
Things. Mental health? No, I think it's been like a really cool experience. We're really excited. Mm-hmm. We said we would do it at least a year. That was our goal. We did it.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing it now.
We love it. And we hope you do too.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
If you're still here, we really appreciate it. Thank you for sticking with me, Jess, by the way.
We stuck together. Yeah, Sydney has always been like one of, if not my best friend through my entire life. But I didn't think we could get any closer. But we could, and we did during this.
And we did.
This process.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know what I was thinking while I was putting this episode together? I was like, there are times when I can't remember if I said something to you on the podcast and it made it into the show, or if I talked to you about it on the phone and I've never said it on the show.
Yeah, no, I think about that all the time.
I feel like I constantly have deja vu.
I'll be like, oh, that was funny. I wonder if we said that on the podcast.
I know.
And I also want to shout out Sydney's mom right now because Sydney's mom is like a super awesome person, also an avid listener. And every time we mention her, she will text us after when she's listening and be like, "Y'all are so sweet," and I love her. So big shout out to Miss Francis.
She puts us in a group message and she's like, "I love you."
Big shout out.
Speaking of parents, your dad won a huge award. Congrats to Brian.
My dad is a special guy.
He's a shiny star.
He did.
He was on a parade float, you guys.
On a fire truck, yes.
It was very cool.
It was actually a terrible experience getting to his award ceremony. So he got his master's from Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff, which is actually where Sister Wives people live now. So that was
fucking
cool.
way.
I swear to God.
Okay.
If anyone doesn't know, I love watching Sister Wives.
Jessica is more obsessed with Sister Wives than most people are with, I'm going to say, their children.
I like the show so much. I'm like a big Janelle fan. So if you watch the show, I'm like a fan of Janelle.
Which one is she? Is she day one?
She's wife number 2.
Oh, okay. Can you imagine?
Nope.
I just can't. No.
Nope.
What if Michelle asked you to have a sister wife first?
Fuck off.
First,
Michelle would
never.
That. Michelle doesn't even like that I watch the show.
Michelle's
I
like,
could never.
It's weird. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, she is. She does.
If Eric asked me for a sister wife, it's never the people who are attractive. The guy from the show Sister Wife, the guy who has 47 wives.
4.
Looks like the bottom of my foot.
Yeah. I don't get that.
How did he get one woman to marry him, much less 4 separate women?
4.
Make that make sense.
Can't.
Shorn't. Back to your dad.
So he gets this Distinguished Alumni Award as he goes in like Alumni Hall of Fame. It's like pretty cool at NAU.
That's so cool.
We get to the airport. Our flight's at 7 a.m. So we get to the airport at like 5 because I have anxiety. And we go through everything, right? Everything. We're sitting.
You almost made me spit my tea out when you sang anxiety.
We're sitting on the plane trying to take off. And it would like speed up and then slow down.
Sorry, what?
And the pilot comes on. He's like, "Hey, you guys, we got a little emergency light going on, and so we're just gonna go let maintenance check it out." So we sit on the plane for an hour.
Oof. Yes.
Then they deplane us, and they say we're gonna leave at 10 a.m. So by now it's like 8:39. Yeah. Then boom, 3 p.m. Yeah. So we arrived like 3 hours after he got his award.
Oh, that's such a bummer. Bri guy.
Yeah. But we watched it online. I mean, it sucked.
I'm sure he was thrilled that you went.
Yeah. And then he got to walk us around the campus. We went to, it was like homecoming weekend, I think. So there was a parade that he was obviously in and like.
On a fire truck.
Yeah. It was so cool.
Oh. Yeah. So it's been a very good year, I would say. We like it.
I like it.
We love it.
I love it.
We've got to
do more of it.
We love it. We love you.
All right, you ready?
We're going to give you guys
clippings.
A couple of clips of our favorite sort of moments and some of our favorite clips of episodes throughout
something different.
The first year.
Yeah, so Sydney and I each picked our like 3 kind of favorite sections, and then we want to review them with you.
We hope you like it.
Yeah.
So while we still don't know what causes a lot of psychiatric disorders like OCD,
right,
we do know that it's sure not this. Like, you can't just go in and scramble people's brains. And many of these psychiatric disorders have genetic components. Some of them are linked to childhood trauma or stress and things like that.
This is going to probably not be the correct or nice thing to say, but I don't know how anyone in the 30s had the audacity to think that they knew anything.
Honestly.
Like, you don't have anything. You have nothing. Also,
the 30s were a pretty rough time, if I'm being honest.
The Depression.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you are discovering something, and then who decided? I want to know the panel of judges to give this man a prize for thinking he can ice pick his way into solving these issues.
Yeah, so since he got the prize, and now we obviously know that lobotomies are not cool.
Did they take it back from his dead body?
There have been groups of people that have gotten together over the years several times and tried to tell the Nobel Prize Committee that they should take it back, and they won't take it back.
Why?
Oh, that's a great question. They basically just said like it was a significant contribution, so we're not taking it back.
I mean,
right.
No, take it back. He probably was buried with it. He was like, I know I barely won this. About to be buried. It's going with me.
By the time he died, he was like, I just got to hang on to this.
This is my one accomplishment. Yeah.
No one can see it.
So at least it was in the 30s. So I'm so hesitant to be like,
yeah,
this isn't like a modern issue, right? Surely people aren't like hi-yahing their brains with ice picks these days.
So this... Ooh.
I already am mad.
You're going to hate hearing this. It was still happening as recently as the 1970s. The procedure was still being done in hospitals like regularly. Yes. Basically, this ends up happening to over 50,000 people in America end up getting lobotomies.
That's wild.
So that was a clip that I picked from our very first episode, which was about lobotomies.
I was cracking up, y'all. I could not.
I was too.
I mean...
Jessica said, surely people are not still hi-yahing ice picks into their brain.
My favorite part was when I think you were like, I said, did we take it back from him? And then we were like, he probably is buried with it. He was like, this is my one accomplishment.
Yeah. We were talking about, so the guy who won the Nobel Prize for lobotomies is Antonio Igasmaniz. And yeah, I still think that they should take that away from him, if I'm being very honest.
100%.
Take it off his cold dead body. What are you doing?
Dig it
up.
Gotta go.
Dig
it up.
Can we just get a shirt that says that?
Dig it up.
We hate it.
Malpractice Podcast.
Dig it up. Take it away and give it to someone who deserves it, honestly. That's not that shit.
Not that fool. Also, how rude of me to be like, the audacity of anyone in the 30s to think they've discovered anything. Why am I so mad at the 30s? I was like, the Depression.
The Depression? Idiots.
Just naming things I know happened in the 30s.
I picked that episode because, number one, I think the whole episode is hilarious, but also it was like our first one, and it was like, you know, it was a big deal. It felt like a really big deal.
And we were so stoked to do lobotomies.
I was
first, I remember.
So stoked about lobotomies. I spent so much time on that research because it was really fun.
And I spent so much time watching Nurse Ratched.
I did also
perform lobotomies.
I did also watch Nurse Ratched after. But you said that thing about the 30s, and then I was about to. The next episode I was going to take from was the Rita Levi Montalcini, and she discovered some cool stuff in like the 40s.
That's a safe time.
We hate the 30s.
Fuck the 30s.
Love the 40s.
Love the 40s.
Even though World War II.
Hate the 40s. Actually, hate everything.
Hate most things, honestly. Hate them all.
Hate most of it. I hate most of it.
And that's true. That's just fact. You want to go to our next clip?
Yeah, next Clippington. Well, our first little episode for 2021 is for you.
For me?
Yeah, it's for you because it's your vibe. It's a criminal vibe.
Is it a murder?
A murder? A murder. Yes, it's a lot of murders, actually.
Oh, you know I love a murder.
So this episode is about this guy, H.H. Holmes, Henry Howard Holmes, born Herman Webster Mudgett,
Oof.
May 16th, 1861 in New Hampshire. So first of all, good call, Holmesy, on the fucking name change. That's a horrible name.
Herman Webster Mudgett is...
it's the name of a frog.
It sounds like Ebenezer Scrooge's friend.
No, yes. It sounds like fake old man. It sounds like a baby who was born an old man.
It's a fake old man name. That's exactly what it is. Okay.
Well, he was real. So he was also known as the Beast of Chicago, which, paints a picture. which was given to him in because of like alleged murders.
Alleged.
And then also like over 50 lawsuits that were filed against him.
Oof.
So his disturbing actions were the murdering, but he also was like super scammy, super schemy.
Sneaky Sneth.
Sneaky Sneth. So this is another one of those motherfuckers right here.
Sneaky motherfucker.
So H cubed, that's what I call HHH. Holmes.
Oh, well, that's not unfair. H cubed.
Cubed. Is known as the first modern prolific serial killer. He killed anywhere from 20 to 200 people.
Ugh.
I know that's like a wide range of murder. Yeah. And you're like, how? It's because like no one really knows. And historians question whether this shit is real or like fabricated because of yellow journalism at the time.
Yeah.
But I think it's fucking real.
Yeah, and sometimes when you have somebody who just be killing people, they just like lump others in with it. They're like, I don't know, maybe he did this one too. Who can say?
Just fucking throw it on him too.
Yeah.
He is also known for creating what is known as the murder castle, where he tortured and killed his victims. It sounds like Starvation Heights, and I love it. It
absolutely does, and I was just about to say that. And also, I remember reading a story about how he hired different contractors so no one knew what he was doing.
No, yeah, he did that. When he built that castle, he hired then fired them. So they do one project of the big project. He hired them for the whole castle. And then he was like, nope, you're fired, and pulled somebody else because he had all these like secret passageways and chutes and ladders in that bitch to move bodies. Oh,
my God. I want to go to this house so bad.
What the fuck?
I know that sounds really gross, but I just want to see it.
You are some fucking swims with sharks, bitch. That's not me.
That is fair.
Go there with Eric, maybe. I'm not down.
He won't go with me. I need a murder friend.
I mean, I like murder stories, but I'm not trying to get murdered. Like, that's what you're trying to get. Oh my God. That was so funny. I was almost crying. Like, chutes and ladders. First of all, 20 to 200 murders. You are some swims with sharks, bitch.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Castle. No.
You're not wrong. I love spooky shit, so I had to include I think that was the first murder that we did.
Yeah. I would argue that the lobotomies guy murdered
Oh,
people,
I would argue the same.
6 1/2.
But it was like the first outright, like, there ain't no questions.
Crime. Medical crime. Yeah.
Chutes and ladders. He built his house with chutes and ladders.
He had so many passageways.
It was so funny.
That was crazy.
Number one, I love that episode. Obviously, it's full of murder, and I love that.
He killed everybody.
He killed everybody.
And he married everybody, too.
He also married everyone. It was getting sued left and right. And I mean what I said in that clip. You said his name, and I said, oof.
I know. You're like, good. I said, good call. You said,
yeah.
That was a good call.
Excellent idea.
Good choice.
Number one, if you have 3 names and you go by all 3 of them,
don't do it.
You're a serial killer.
100%.
That's that's the synopsis. John Wayne Gacy, fuck that guy.
Big trash.
Gary Leon Ridgway, the Green River Killer.
Trash.
3 names. Who else? Lee Harvey Oswald.
You didn't need to throw him in there. We're not related.
I know you're not related. Stop having 3 names and going by all 3 of them. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. We're serious. If you go by 3 names, H. Holmes. What are the H's? H cubed?
Herbert, Howard, something. Herbert, what is his name?
I can't remember. I can only remember like Munster or whatever his fake first name was when he was born.
Oh, Kermit the Frog or whatever.
Yeah. Excellent choice changing that one up, my guy.
You're long dead, but it's the one good choice you made.
If you haven't listened to that episode, go do it.
It's pretty funny.
So funny. I legitimately think that's one of the funniest ones we've ever done.
On to the next one. I like this one. This is one of my choices, right? Yes. And I was an episode you did.
Okay, ready? So in the next step, they stuck a hooked object up the nose to break through the ethmoid bone, kind of at the top of your nose. It's where you'd have to break through your skull to reach your brain.
It's where they touch for the COVID test.
Correct, yes.
All the way there.
That was good.
Just scrape it.
That was really good. I ain't even mad.
Just about COVID level.
Yeah. So they hit the COVID spot, and then they break through your skull, and they pull the brain out through your nose.
Okay.
And so
brains are like elastic, or like, what the fuck? How?
they're kind of like, they're smushy but harder than you would expect.
I mean, you're a scientist, so you would know.
I touch brains all the time.
That is, fuck, that right there. You're our next topic, because that shit is wild.
Can you touch a brain, yes or no?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Me, no. You, yes.
Me, yes, I do it. So they thought that this organ, the brain, was basically useless. So they just threw it away. They took it out and they were like, bye. And they did all of this without disfiguring the face, because the person is going to get to the afterlife and they want their loved ones to know who they are. So it's important, especially if you're super rich, that they don't mess up your face while they're doing this.
Yeah.
Then they cut open the left side of your torso and they remove the stomach, liver, lungs, and intestines, and they would actually leave the heart in place because they believed that the heart was like the seat of human intelligence. So basically, when the person got to the afterlife, what they thought is they would stand in front of a panel of judges and tell them several things like, I did not lie, I did not steal, etc. And if they could answer those questions truthfully, it would determine whether they were going to pass on into the afterlife or not.
So if they didn't pass on, where did they think they went?
Oh.
They just stood there for eternity being like, I did not lie. And they're like, you a liar.
No, there's some bullshit coming. So...
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, shit, okay.
To test whether they were telling the truth, they would put the heart on a giant scale and it was weighed against what they called the feather of truth. If it was heavier than the feather, like you have a heavy heart because you're lying about shit, if it was heavier than the feather, the heart and the person would get eaten by a giant crocodile god.
Okay. Wait. Let me run that back.
Uh-huh.
You keep your heart. You lose everything else. Fuck your brain. Fuck all that
Yeah, nobody
shit.
cares about that.
Keep your heart. You go to the afterlife doors, and there's like a panel.
A panel of like 60
people?
judges, yeah.
Oh, 60?
60,
okay.
yeah.
So you got 60 people to convince, and they're like, nah, you got to ask the feather about this business. So you get the feather, you take your heart out of your already otherwise empty body, you measure it, and if it's heavy, a crocodile god eats you.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, that's all
right. That is weird.
But they were really into this, and they thought that basically this was like your second life. So as soon as pharaohs started getting into power, they would immediately start preparing their tombs because they were like, okay.
Eventually, this motherfucker's going to die.
It's like 2000 BC. Like, I'm going to die any day now. So I better start prepping now.
Interesting. That's wild.
In the next step, the body is dried with natron. And natron is like a sodium-based chemical, and it's basically baking soda and salt. And they packed it around the body. And so it left this like super dried out, but really recognizable human form. So your face still looked like your face.
Okay, that's so creepy, but okay.
You were just dried out, right? Like all the water leaks out of your skin. So after 60 full days of being dried out...
So you're beef jerky by this point.
The body would be wrapped with linen bandages. Yes, you're basically beef jerky. And the priest wrapping it would be reciting spells and burning incense because these mummies were like really sacred beings who were like about to transfer into the afterlife.
Plus that, you got to pray for that crocodile god not to eat your ass.
Stay away from me, Croc. So...
You and... What is that guy's name? The Sneak? What was his name?
Seth. Sneth.
Yes. Sneth.
Sneth the sneaky snake.
Yeah, he might be there too. I don't know.
That is so funny.
You calling a mummy beef jerky is just chef's kiss.
My favorite part was when I was enraged by the number 60 of judges. Like, I don't know.
You were like 60?
I was like, 60? Like, that is a ridiculous... Where is the balance here? 60 judges?
My favorite thing that I said during that clip was, stay away from me, Croc.
Yeah,
That was funny.
I don't know. Why am I like this?
And also the whole like, can you touch a brain? Me, no. You, yes.
Me, no.
No, I'm not touching a brain.
Like you were shocked that I asked you.
Yeah, I
Could
was
you touch a
offended.
brain?
I'm offended right now.
You couldn't touch a brain, huh? You're out.
Absolutely not.
If I had a brain right in front of you.
Not touching it. That's disgusting.
What if, could somebody pay you to touch a brain?
Fuck yeah. I'm not doing that for free.
Sure. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
That's basically what I do for a living.
That's crazy.
Get paid to touch
How
a
much
brain.
would they have to pay me? A lot. But I would do it. Do you put gloves on, though?
Usually, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, usually. Wait a minute.
Yeah. No, I would say 99% of the like I've probably touched one without on accident.
Would you lick a brain?
Oh. Whoa. Everybody's got to have a line somewhere. I'm going to say no to licking a brain.
Right. That's the correct answer. I'm glad. I don't know why it took you like 4 seconds to decide that. The correct answer is no.
Mostly because I was thinking about there are these things called prion diseases, like mad cow disease, that you can get from licking a brain.
Let's not.
Let's not.
We're good.
We have to
Let's not
not.
do that.
You have to not. If you're licking brains out there, stop it right
Stop
now.
it. Stop it.
You'll get mad cow disease and die.
And that's what we know about that.
Ready for the next clip?
I'm ready.
So, according to a 2018 study from the Williams Institute at the University of California, Los Angeles, over 690,000 people have undergone conversion therapy in the U.S.
Holy shit.
And loads more are likely to seek this out in the future. The same institute said that 20,000 LGBT plus youth will undergo conversion therapy of some kind before they turn 18. And several companies said they want to end this practice. Like,
Yeah.
it is up and coming. I believe it will be gotten rid of. I think they'll ban it.
Yeah.
But there were books on like Amazon and on how to do conversion therapy. And there were apps that
How to do it?
yes, and there were apps that like promoted conversion therapy on Google until 2019.
And what happened in 2019? Did they like take it down?
They took them
Oh,
down.
thank God.
Yeah. Both of the companies were like, no,
If you're
we're not going to do
if you're
this.
trying to buy a book for how to do conversion therapy, I actually think that you should end up on a watch list. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know. You're a fuck
Honestly.
if you're doing that.
Yes, right, correct. It's shocking. The statistics are shocking. And then the fact that they just took everything down in 2019, like,
Tell me more. I need to know more about conversion therapy because I guess when I think about it, I don't know where it comes from.
yeah. So conversion therapy really dates back to the 1890s, where this German psychiatrist, and I'm so sorry, my dog, that's this. I'm going to do my best. Albert von Schrenk-Notzing said that he had turned a gay man straight through the power of hypnosis. 45 sessions of hypnosis and a few visits to a brothel, according to journals.
How
So-
is that medically necessary? How did you bill that?
Well, it was the 1890s. I don't think they did a lot of paperwork. Remember, we said don't be burdened paperwork back in the days. At the time of this announcement, being in a same-sex relationship wasn't legal. So many doctors were looking for ways to reverse it, whatever that means.
Okay.
So that's kind of why it was medical, because people were like, it's a feeling I have. I go to the doctor when I'm sick. If it's illegal, it's against my church. I must be sick. I go to the doctor.
Okay.
3 years later, Albert will claim to have completely cured or significantly improved a total of 70 people with homosexual or other perverse inclinations. And he kicked off the idea of what we know as conversion therapy with this kind of idea of healing people through hypnosis, really. It's the easy way out.
Okay.
And forcing people to have sex with people of the other gender.
Ugh.
Some doctors like Eugen, I'm going to butcher everyone's name and I'm so sorry. Eugen Steinak, an Austrian endocrinologist, science words,
What's up?
were looking into things like testicle transplantation experiences or experiments, probably is what I meant.
Oh my God.
That's right. Shock. They were literally castrating gay men and giving them heterosexual testicles from other men. Pause. I wrote the pause in for myself so I would feel the weight of that.
I got nothing. I got nothing for that.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
Because if you have gay feet, what you do is you cut your feet off.
That's how they
and you put
handled
on
it
straight
in
feet.
Footloose,
And
right?
the straight feet will lead you.
That's actually the secret plot of Footloose.
Yes.
They were like,
It's kind of
you're
like,
dancing,
what?
Your feet are causing you to dance. I'm going to chop your feet off.
Chop your feet. Footloose.
It's the same.
Not as funny for sure.
Very tragic. Those stats, every time I hear them, I get shocked by them.
Yeah.
I really am like, wow.
Which is, I think, why it was such an important episode to cover, because number one, I didn't know how prevalent it was
Yeah.
or how recently that stuff was still happening.
There is a show on Netflix that just came out. It's like a documentary on people that participated in and were like leading the movement, and now they're like all the ones that were interviewed are like almost all gay, if they're not all gay.
They were leading conversion therapy movements.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
We talked about that, actually. I was like, yeah, or one of us said, I bet the people who were like leading the charge on this were all gay.
No, they are. They come out, like, I knew that already. It's called Pray Away, is the show on Netflix. Literally, fuck conversion therapy. It's disgusting.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
And there are so many churches now. I mean, this is relatively new, but there are churches now in which you can be your authentic self 100% of the time. Like
Sure.
the church in Austin that Michelle and I go to actually put something out for Pride Month that was like, they had produced this like short film that was basically like the church apologizing.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, you belong here. Like, you belong here. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. Let's do the next Clipperton. My two dream jobs, I would like to either be in the BAU or I would like to work for Conan. Like Conan O'Brien.
Or, I'm sorry, or have a wildly successful podcast with your best friend.
I mean, yes,
The disrespect, y'all. The disrespect. I knew that you were going to leave the podcast out. And me and the podcast are mad. Mostly me. The podcast has no feelings.
You, the podcast, and all 74 of our listeners.
You know what? I love all of them.
Me too.
Now tell me about some crazy shit, because I saw
Are you
the
ready? Because I've
title
got some real crazy shit.
I saw the title, and I was like, ooh, that's some shit I do like.
Because you saw the C word in the title,
I
didn't you?
did.
Okay, y'all.
No.
Do I have to? I'm going to bleep it out.
Yeah, bleep it out.
I feel like no one our age would care, but our parents' generation will be like, oh, my stars.
I'll say it again.
You know what?
Bop, bop, bop.
Okay, y'all. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about some potentially triggering things like sexual and psychological abuse. Some of it may be very hard to listen to. We value our listeners' mental health, and if this isn't something that you feel comfortable hearing, please feel free to skip this episode. Okay. So today, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different from the stories we normally tell, and I want to tell you and our listeners a ridiculous story about a certain wellness cult.
I'm shimmying because I love a wellness cult. Not really. I love a cult
I love the
story. I've never
shimmy.
heard about a wellness cult.
We love a cult story. Who doesn't love a cult story? And this one is absolutely wild. So this story is about a group that originally marketed themselves as a wellness group for successful, thriving people, mostly women, as you may or may not have guessed at this point, who wanted to join a community of like-minded individuals and be a part of something bigger than themselves. So they told people that by joining, the people who joined would be healthier, wealthier, and part of an important group that was doing big things in the world. Which
Wait,
sounds great.
Is this a marketing pyramid scheme?
Oh, actually, that's a very good question, and that's exactly how it starts.
Stop!
I swear to God.
That sounds like the pickup line from every Facebook message I've ever received from someone I never talked to in high school.
Yes, girl. So the founder's name was Keith Raniere, And he kicked things off in his life by starting a multi-level marketing company way back in the 80s. Think about like Avon, Mary Kay, the start of like essential oils.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I think their MLM at the very beginning sold dishwashers or something.
Dishwashers
And they would
as
like
an
bring
MLM?
Yes, girl.
That's a big product.
Yes. So you had to like host parties and invite your friends and recruit a certain number of members per month.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know the shtick now in these like modern times of everyone we went to high school with selling you things you don't need on Instagram.
Yep. I have bought some stuff, but
Keith Raniere was like the original boss babe.
wow.
Fortunately, by the end of the story, the group's creator is going to receive 120 years in federal prison.
Fuck.
Amid allegations of sexual, physical, and psychological abuse that includes everything from coercing people to joining to branding.
Like physical branding with an iron?
Yes. Yes.
Like cattle?
Yes. You heard that
this
right.
Guy is
By the end of this story, he is literally branding women like pretty famous actresses on camera. But let's get into it. Yes, girl.
Ew.
So some of our listeners
I'm gonna
who have
look him
seen-
up, and he probably looks like the bottom of my foot.
He absolutely does. He
God
looks a
damn
little
it.
bit like Nerdy Jesus.
Nerdy Jesus.
Some of our listeners who have seen the Nerdy Jesus. I can't believe you saying that. Okay.
Well, I can't believe I just looked him up, and he looks
Exactly
literally
like Nerdy Jesus.
like nerdy.
Okay.
Look,
I know. He looks like
I know you know what he looks like. This is not a flattering
That's
photo.
nerdy
is this
cult-
from the police?
that's nerdy cult leader Jesus. Okay.
That was funny.
Did you love it? I thought it was really funny.
That was funny.
The Nexium cult story was one of my favorites.
Nerdy Jesus. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones that
Dude.
I've ever done. That's why it was one of my picks.
I didn't put that episode on my list because I knew you were going to put it on your
You
list.
knew I was going
but
to.
I really liked that one too. I was like
Yeah.
so shook. If you have not listened to that, please do yourself a favor and go and listen to that episode. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Keith Raniere, the guy who is the cult leader, got 120 years in jail, and this was not true. Well, it hadn't been decided yet when we released that episode, but Allison Mack, the girl
Yeah.
who was his second,
Yeah.
she just got 3 years in federal prison.
Good. I hope she gets 40 more.
Yeah, she was facing up to 15, and I think that 3 years is like, once you listen to that episode, you will feel the same way, but 3
She needs
years
more than
feels
that.
really light. Yeah.
It feels small. It feels tiny.
Her defense team apparently argued that she was like in a vulnerable position too, that like he had kind of abused her as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nobody's denying that, my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably did happen to you.
Yeah.
But you was not a good person.
But you also recruited sex slaves for a cult. Like,
You
it's
are
not
bad.
good.
You are not a nice person.
You're certainly not a good person. Like, you certainly deserve
you're
jail time.
trash.
100%.
Big jail.
Big jail. Also, when you sang Nerdy Jesus, I lost my shit.
Nerdy Jesus.
I was like, I'm done. So that was my number 3 out of 3 picks was Nexium and Nerdy Jesus.
And the last one's now. Beer, 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 beer. So, not so ironically, the earliest forms of birth control, along with abortion, but I'm not going to talk about that today, hail from the brilliant minds of the ancient Egyptians and and Mesopotamia. Y'all, I'm not drinking. This is real. This is me. We cannot afford the rights to that song.
No, for sure we can't.
Literally dating back to like 1850 BC, according to papyrus scrolls. So imagine finding these scrolls, right? Imagine being the what is it called? Anthropologist, the archaeologist, and they're like, find the scrolls. What do you think that conversation was like? Like, hey, you guys. According to these papyrus scrolls.
Okay, but also, like, you know that it was an old English white man who was like,
Yes.
I say. Wait, that's Southern. I accidentally slipped into foghorn leghorn.
Literally,
But what
you
I
did.
meant to do is like, old boy, you know, like a, you know,
I want you to say more in that voice.
To be fair.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
So on these scrolls, there were things like recipes for like avoiding pregnancy, FYI, honey, acacia leaves, I don't know if I said that right, and lint, which formed a cervical cap to halt sperm entry that you would like stick in your vagina.
Gross.
There are also these, they're called like the gynecological papyrus scrolls that contained all these informative things. And they listed like a bunch of stuff. And one of them was like, if you keep breastfeeding, that could help you not get pregnant. We know that's not true.
Wait, it isn't?
The simple answer is yes. Although breastfeeding offers some protection from ovulation, the monthly occurrence where you release a mature egg from one of your ovaries, it is possible to ovulate and become pregnant.
But it may help or something?
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to say in these scrolls, because it said, like, hinted that it could work for up to 3 years. There's also this, I'm going to try and say it, Silphium plant that was used as a contraceptive. It was grown only in a small area in modern Libya, and it was so popular that it was overgrown and eventually it became extinct. And they used things like animal and fish bladders as condoms.
Oh.
So the
Interesting.
my God, Silphium plant was popular in ancient Greece, and they also used, oh my God, I forgot I put this word in, and I shouldn't have because I cannot say it. Asafoetida.
Ooh.
Which is another kind of plant.
Okay, so that was your pick. That was your last pick, and it was a really good one.
Science words. I don't know what it never fails. I will pick a topic that I think will be like, not sciencey, and inevitably a bitch will have a science word. Like a very sciencey Asafoetida. What?
Asafoetida.
What? Who's reading that?
Not even me, honestly. And I read science words professionally.
And I did my best. I was like, y'all,
Doing my best.
could tell you.
And also I accidentally slipped into foghorn leghorn, which I don't feel great about.
I say. That was funny.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for attending our roundup.
Yeah.
Send us your favorites.
Thanks for everything, you guys. I can't believe sometimes that we have like an audience who actually listens to us.
Dude, same.
It feels crazy.
Feels awesome.
It feels ridiculous that it's been a whole year,
We love it.
but we loved it. Love every minute of it. Love you guys. Love you, Jess.
Love you, you little kitten whisker face.
And that's it. And we'll see you next week for a regular episode.
For regs, yeah. That would be cool and different. If you don't like it, don't tell us.
Yeah, don't at us. It's not nice. It's not necessary. Just leave it alone.
If you have a recommendation, hit us up on our social medias. Follow us at Malpractice Podcast. And leave us a review because we love that. And we love you.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget.
Yeah. Oh,
Malpractice
malpractice
makes
makes perfect.
Yes. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.